Well, good morning. It is yet another crappy day. Drizzling rain, damp, cold, no sun. Well, as I said, it's another dreary, crappy day. I guess I just gonna have to get something done. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna jump in the truck while I still have the plow on it, and I'm gonna go up and down the driveway and take out some of the potholes and see if I can pull some of the gravel back to the middle. And then when we have a nicer day, I'll go out with the tractor, use the box grader to level it out. I already did it once, a couple weeks ago, and it helped quite a bit with the truck. And, it gets a lot of the big potholes and stuff out. But you still got to go back with a box grader to do it, because obviously a plow is not designed to do that. But this thing does a pretty good job. So I'm going to jump in the truck and go ahead and see how much of a mess I can make or clean it up. When it's wet like this, the gravel's loose, so it'll dig up easier and pull towards the middle. So what I'll end up doing once I get out into the main driveway here, the road, is I will just drop the pile down just so it starts to hit the gravel, and I'll just go extremely slow. I'm in four-wheel low, just go slow and see what we can do. Just enough to fill in some of these little potholes a little bit and bring some of the gravel back to the middle until I can get out here with the box grader and really do a good job with it. So I'm trying not to dig it too much. We'll see what happens. I've done it before in the past, a couple years ago. That was pretty good. You can probably see I pulled some back to the middle, filled in a lot of the small little potholes. That way it'll stop them from getting any worse. But really, once all this is dried up again, I'll get the box grader out and really fill in. Now I got this big wet spot up ahead here, big puddle, because it's where I stopped the new loads of gravel last year, so it's a low spot. But this will definitely make it better for the meantime anyway. So anyways, it was a little bit of that. Yeah, I got everything. Still freaking raining out. Well, I decided to come out here on the bus. I just started the heater up, and probably gonna take time to make that list I was talking about either earlier in this video or the video before. But I did get a few things in the mail yesterday. This, I don't know if you can see it, but this is a foot pump, and it's going to go on the floor below the sink. So we'll have the option of using the big faucet to do big stuff, whatever. But if we just need a little bit of water, it's going to have a secondary faucet out of one of those three holes that I originally said was going to be soap, sanitizer, and dish soap, whatever. One of them is going to be an additional single tube faucet that when you... Oh, it's a horn too, I guess. But when you step on this, it'll actually pump water up in. What this will do is it'll reduce the amount of water we waste, because you can have both hands available. Step on the foot pump, squirt a little bit of water on, soap up, squirt a little water, and rinse. If you use the full faucet setup, you got to turn the water on, then reach around, wash, water's continually coming out, and you got to shut it off, and your hands all wet. So this way here, we're going to use a lot less water in some situations, so anytime we can save. Plus, we won't be using any 12 volt electricity to do this, because it'll be just with our foot. So for any time we don't need a lot of water or don't need hot water, we'll use this foot pump. And the other thing I got was the external connector for our 50 amp service from Shore Power. And this is a screw-on type. It's in the package. I'm not going to take it out right now, but this cover opens up, and the cord I'm going to have will go on and screw on, so it's a nice tight fitting. And then of course this part will be through the side of the bus. The wire will come out, go into a 50 amp breaker, and then into my regular breaker box. So we got that as well. So that's good. A couple more additional parts, but I gotta sit down and make a list of things I need for all of the other stuff that I'm missing, because every time I go, I seem to forget something. So that's what I'm going to work on probably for a little bit today. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to show you of this, but I'll try. But I don't have a lot of light here in the bus, and it's another dreary day. Actually, it's the same day. But I'm going to go ahead and start working on my plumbing here, my water. And I got my hot and cold And I just put the valves on, so I'm going to have shut-off valves right here just before the faucet, and then I'll have a main shut-off valve back at the tank as well, and probably a couple other spots too. You know, it's easier to put the valves in now, so if you have to shut them off and make a replacement of a water pump or something like that, than it is to have to mess with it later on. And for the price of them, as far as I'm concerned, it's well worth it. So now I'm going to go and start. I'm going to have to do some drilling back there, way back, and run the lines in all the way back, not very far, but just right back into this area here for my different water feeds. So I got the red one up there. I'm going to use that for hot. And I have a roll of blue I'll use for cold. Even though it's dreary, I am trying to just get a little bit more motivated and do something. But yeah, look at it out there. It's just dreary. There's puddles everywhere. It's still drizzling off and on. It's only like 45 degrees. But I got the heater on the bus, so we are slowly warming up. And hopefully you can see I got the red one. I'm just using my drill here to show the light, and then it stopped right there, and I'll be able to connect this right into it once I'm ready. It's hard to see back there, but here. And then I'm just gonna run a blue one for cold. I got 2 holes drilled. You can probably see better back here, coming in here. So there's the hot one. The blue will go in the top hole, and that puts us into this cabinet here. I'll have to put an elbow going down and over here to the pump. Actually, the hot will go up to the water heater. So yeah, just gotta run the blue one in there. I'm gonna cut this off first because that's too sharp of an angle to curve up. So I'll have to have an elbow crimped on there, but I'll show you that in a minute. You see I got the hot. Basically I'm working backwards because I'm missing a piece I need back at the tank, so I figured I'll just work all the way backwards from the faucet. So this is going to the kitchen faucet, coming back here. I'm putting this T on here because this will tee off to the water heater, and then this is going to continue, come up through this hole here. And for now I'm just going to leave it right here because this is where the shower head's going to be for hot water. So I'll leave plenty of pipe for there. But yeah, so I'm doing that right now. And then of course they run to this cabinet over here. Probably can't really see them very well. And then I have them right there connected, hot and cold, to the sink. I haven't clamped those on yet because I'm going to straighten them out a little bit. That's where we're at so far. So a little at a time, but we're getting there. Yeah, I thought I'd just show you a little bit of progress here. So I got these piped in. I just got that pounded on there just temporarily, so I left the nail out because I'll have to disconnect it when I put the end on, and the pipe's just going to go to my shower head, which will be in this area here. So those are stopped there. I just got them taped off really, quick so nothing can get in them. And then the blue one, that's the feed to the sink, comes out, and this is where it tees off and goes up to that one I just showed you. And then this is going to be the feed to it, which is going to come right over here. Hopefully you can see that. And I'll bring this piece down here so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. This piece is going to sit right like that. It's going to screw onto the pump and sit right there, and then come off this end and go over to that piece right there. So I'll get this together and show you what it looks like. And then I'm going to put a shut off on the other side too from the tank, so I can shut off either side of the pump if I have to make a replacement or repair to the pump. I don't have to worry about water coming out of everything. But I also thought it'd be easier to crimp all that in place up here instead of trying to bend down there in the corner. So I got all these just sitting here, and I'm gonna go get them all crimped on, and I'll just have the one last one to crimp going over to the other pipe. Now I want to make sure this is as straight as possible, my valve, so let's get that straight. Make sure you pay attention to that. If your valve has a directional indicator on it, make sure it's going the right way. Okay, so that's all solid. I'll go screw that onto the pump, and then I can measure my distance between I'm gonna go screw this onto the pump, and then I'm gonna measure the distance between this and the other side and get that last piece in, and then that will give me an indication exactly where the pump's going to sit too. I didn't screw the pump down. This give me a little bit of wiggle room in case I need it. I'll do a final video once it's finished, but in a nutshell, there's my pump. The water's going to come out of here, go across into here, and then down around to the filter, into the pump, and then back out, and then to either the shower, the sink, or the water heater. That's that. And the reason why it's the way it is because the flow is this way, and if I turned it around, the pump would be sticking way out here, and I didn't want that. So it's got some extra elbows I really didn't want, but it is what it is. I do have shut-offs on both sides of the pump, one here and one here. So if I have to shut this off, I can disconnect all of this stuff down here and not lose water out of the tank and not lose water out of the, the rest of the system either. So that's always a good idea. This little tube here you see coming off is also, it's all afloat here, it's not connected, but is also before the pump and everything, and this tube goes over, and it's going to go, it's right there, but it's going to go to this little foot pump. And then the other side is going to feed up to a separate little faucet here that we can then, right now it sounds like a little horn, but it will be pumping water. So if we don't want to run the pump, we just need a little bit of water to rinse our hands or whatever, or do something very light, we can just put our foot underneath the kick plate here and pump it with our foot a couple times, get a little tiny bit of water, and not have to waste electricity or running the pump and waste water. So that's what that's going to be. So we're going to have like a two systems. We'll only run the pump when we're doing bigger stuff. But what I'm working on now, or starting to, because again, I've only got 7 more of these clips here, these clamps, these ring clamps to finish that up, and I'm missing a fitting. So I just stopped for the moment until I get the rest of those and one last fitting. And what I decided to do is go ahead and start plumbing in the drain. So you can see it's coming out of the sink here. It's going to go back. I'm not putting a P-trap at the moment right here because I don't have the clearance unless I cut a hole in this. But I'm going to have a good rubber stopper in the sink, and it's going to go down 45 through there, come out through here. And as soon as it clears out here, out into this area where all the other stuff is, it's going to drop and have a P-trap right there. So I still won't get any odor from the tank. I'll just have to worry about this, 3-4 feet of tubing or drain pipe that'll be in here. And if I have a good drain plug in all the time, that should not be a problem. So I'm getting ready to drill that hole through there with a hole saw, and I'll have to drill one on that side, and then I'll be running some PVC in and making some connections here for the drain. And eventually that'll go down to the floor over there, down to our gray water tank underneath the bus. Drilled the first one, you can see there, and I just took several measurements and carried those measurements over and drilled this one, which is really perfect because I want it as low as possible, because if any tilt, I want it to tilt down towards this way, and once it comes out here, we'll put the P-trap in right here. So yeah, we got the hole down through there, and you can see the other hole way up there, and then it'll go through the 45. I'm making a little progress here. I'm going from, sorry about the background noise, but that's Mom on the monitor, my brother's in there getting their lunch. But I'm going from one type of PVC, cheap drain stuff, to regular PVC. So I got this boot for an adapter. It's going to go over that one and over this, and then this will go into that 45 back there. Maybe not, but yeah, this is going to go in here like that. Just temporarily stick it in there like so. Let's see if I can put this in without knocking the camera over. I guess it'll temporarily go right there like that. And then this will go in there like that. And then of course, well, the other one came out now. But that'll get tightened down. Let me see if I can slide that. Might need a second person for this, but Tracy's sleeping because she works third shift tonight. But yeah, I see it coming right out of the sink, going into that just that coupler there, rubber coupler, over the regular PVC to a 45, carries over across. So I want to get way in the back of the cabinet so not mess up my storage space. So that worked out good. And it is slightly downhill. Now remember, we're on a bus, so if I park differently, of course, it won't be downhill, but it is, if it was level, it is on a downhill slope from the sink. And of course, nothing's glued here yet, but this will end up being, I don't want to twist it, it's going to knock it off, but this is where my P-trap will be. And I got to come out of this and go down to a drain in the floor. My gray water tank is right underneath here, directly underneath the freshwater tank. I got some regular elbows, but I should have got some street elbows, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. So regular elbows, you know, I could cut a piece of pipe between these and put that one on, and then put another one, and then I'd be facing the right direction to go down to the floor. But these are regular elbows, so I need a piece of pipe between this fitting and this fitting. If you get a street elbow, one side is female and the other side is male, and it'll slide right into that, and it saves you an extra connection. I can get 2 of those and just go boop boop and be out and head in the right direction without cutting a bunch of pipe to go between every single fitting. So I'll wait till I get 2 street elbows, or go look around. I might even have some around here, and then we'll be good to go down through the floor. And let me show you that real quick too, kind of what we're going to do there. All right, hopefully you can see this all right. Here's my where it'll come out of here. Of course, nothing's glued yet, it's just kind of sitting there afloat, but eventually it'll come out, go down, and then into the drain here. And I'm not sure which way it'll go. I haven't even got the hole in the floor yet, but it's going to go into this Y. And the reason why is, one will be the drain from the sink. This will be the drain from our shower stall thing. That's another whole project I'll show you when we get to it. And then somewhere on the side of either the pipe or the connection here that's going down through, I will take this, which is the tube from our urine diverter, and now I'll probably just drill a hole in the side of this somewhere, and that'll drop down in there as well. So the urine will also go down to the gray water tank. Right now I just got it tucked underneath here in the wheel well, underneath the sink, the toilet over there. That's how it's going to be set up. We'll be good to go to run water once we get all this finalized, but we're getting there, making progress. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this video up. I know I left off messing around with some plumbing and stuff, but yeah, I need some parts. I need those street elbows I was talking about. I still need one little fitting, I think, for the water tank, and once I get those, I can actually complete the water system, except for cutting in the side of the bus to put the fill and the fill tube and all that in. But as you probably can see behind me there, it is still drizzly and rainy today. But I just want to take a minute, wrap out today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Don't forget, I do have 2 other channels. If you like camping, then go to 2 Camping Gurus. That has a lot of camping product reviews and stuff like that, tips and tricks. And if you like home repair and oddball stuff like that, you can swing over to my other channel, which is Shane's Main Shop, where I do all kinds of home repair stuff, auto repair, things like that. Just random handyman type stuff. And there is some vacation videos thrown in there here and there, because that was my first channel I started with. But then I wanted to make some designated channels for a particular topic, so people, if they came to the channel, they kind of knew what they were going to get. So anyway, thanks for swinging by. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.